it's been an interesting time for car racing games in the world of video games. We've gone from this strange thing where lots of people are releasing all of these different arcade-style races, Forza Horizon, a lot of the Codemaster stuff went a little bit more arcadey. Suddenly, though, like, just out of nowhere, we're back in the simulation world. And so we've got Project Cars, Forza 7, and the new GT coming out as well. So it's a big time for simulation games. Project Cars 2 is the game we're talking about today. Jamie, what's your thought process? What are you thinking?
So what I'm thinking at the moment is I like Project Cars' approach in general, where it is a game where you look at, say, Forza GT, there are games about building up a collection of cars, doing them up, putting fat spoilers on them, putting all the wheels on them, and dressing them up for anime girls because I'm a horrible
there is their own separate kind of community that may not even necessarily race them, but they'll put anime girls on them.
Of course.
Yeah, so where is that? So it covers a lot of different subgenres.
As with P-Cars, though, Project Cars is more or less about the driving. It is a game about racing. Because you have a smaller collection of cars and a smaller collection of tracks compared to Forza or GT, but it's more or less about, okay, those cars it's a really focused collection that drives really well, and a really focused collection of tracks that they just scan and analyze and make sure that it works perfectly for the developer's vision of this idea of a racing sandbox.
Yes, and I guess that is the big difference. So, where you have Forza, where it is that little bit, we're this small car club and we're buying all these smaller cars, we're building up, all that kind of stuff. And you're buying all the different upgrades and stuff like that. This is more a case of, here is this particular either production or performance car, here's this particular race car, here are the options you have to configure it the way you want or that you think will suit the track that we're racing on, go race. And that's,
one of the great things they do on that is they introduce this feature called the Race Engineer. So what you can do before any race is you can, let's say you're driving a couple of practice runs, which you should be doing because it's the kind of game you need it for. Absolutely. And so you realize, okay, maybe the car's not driving the way I'd like. Like maybe you're not turning in too much, or too little, or you're not getting enough acceleration. What you can do is you can go to your race engineer and say, hey, this is a problem, what can I do about this? And the race engineer will explain to you in layman's terms, okay, this is what you should be doing to modify the car to actually perform the way you want it to do.
Which is, obviously Forza and those kind of games have that as well, where you buy the upgrades and all that kind of thing. And it always gave you these like detailed explanations of, if you increase the diff, it'll change your oversteer and stuff like that. But to actually have something that goes through that process and takes these people who say want to get better at car racing games, and shows them those particular steps and kind of not handholds them but really explains it. That's a niche that no one has really explored well, and I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah, because I mean, if anything, it's one of the few things that games give you, because it is in some less creative people will call this the Dark Souls of racing games. We're not going to because it's a bad thing to say. But it is a game that is challenging. It's a game that it forces you to learn how to drive a car properly. It forces you to learn how to actually race a car properly, which again, this is a game where you need to practice and practice and practice. And if you're one of those people who have a really kind of big, crazy $1,000 rig set up with multi-screens and the steering wheel and even the crazy deboxing, because I know that's totally a thing, this is a game that's perfect for you. It's absolutely perfect for that.